Types of ADR. 5 types of ADR: negotiation, mediation, conciliation, and arbitration. Negotiation, it is traditionally occurs directly between the parties and their counsel, and it does not involve a neutral third party. It settles the dispute on mutually agreed terms. It is a voluntary and non-binding process. It provides a direct interaction with the disputing parties. Mediation. It is a very flexible process that can be effectively used at any time during the course of the dispute. Mediation involves the intervention of a third party. It facilitates the parties to make oral and written presentation. It facilitates joint or separate private sessions with the mediator. It is non-binding process involving a neutral mediator. Conciliation involves the intervention of a neutral person chosen by the parties. It allows the conciliator to settle the dispute by himself. It allows the parties to put across their claims before the conciliator. It facilitates joint or separate interviews with conciliator. It permits the conciliator to conduct interviews with parties. It discloses the information or allegations to the parties. Conciliation is a non-binding process involving a neutral conciliator. Arbitration. It involves the intervention of a third party. It is headed by arbitrator who is appointed by legal authority. Arbitration shall follow the provisions of the Arbitration Act. It has independent and neutral mechanism. It requires the submission of written statements and evidences. It permits the arbitrator to assist, arbitrate, and resolve the dispute. It has a mechanism of passing a decision called award. It directs the arbitrator follow the principles of natural justice. It is binding on the parties. It is a proof of authenticated settlement of the dispute. It provides a process of enforcing its award. It will not allow unilateral termination of arbitration proceedings. It is often used for resolution of commercial disputes. Collaborative law. Here both the parties are represented by a collaborative attorney and both the parties agree not to litigate the matter. What is the main difference between arbitration and conciliation? Arbitration is binding, but conciliation is non-binding. Difference between mediation and conciliation. A mediator in mediation works together with the parties as a partner to assist them in finding the best solution to further their own interest. A mediator's priority is to facilitate the parties' own discussion and representation of their own interests and guide them to their own suitable solution, a good common solution that is fair and workable. In mediation, parties play an active role, but in conciliation, the conciliator plays a relatively direct role in resolving the issue, and even he advises the parties on certain solutions by making proposals for settlement. The parties come to conciliator seeking guidance. The parties make decisions about proposals made by the conciliators. They are usually seen as authority figures who is responsible for facilitating the best solution for the parties. Here, conciliator conducts interviews with the parties and settles the dispute by himself. What is ad hoc arbitration? Ad hoc means for this purpose. So, in an ad hoc arbitration, the parties select the arbitrator or arbitral panel without the assistance of an arbitral body. It has no fixed procedure. The parties have the possibility to decide their own rules, but they may choose a set of rules like unilateral arbitration rules. No other entries involved in ad hoc arbitration, but the parties, except the parties and the arbitral tribunal. What is institutional arbitration? Under institutional arbitration, a specialized institution plays the role of arbitrator and it administers the arbitration process. Every institution has its own set of rules to govern the process of arbitration. In institutional arbitration, there is a prior agreement between the parties that in case of future differences or disputes arising between the parties during their commercial transactions, such differences or disputes will be settled by arbitration as per clause provided in the agreement. What is the meaning of contractual arbitration? When the business parties have agreed in writing, either in the form of purchase order or separate agreement dealing with terms of business or any other arbitration agreement, and if it contains the clause of referring the dispute to arbitration, then it is called contractual arbitration. What is international commercial arbitration? According to Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996, international commercial arbitration is a means of resolving disputes arising under international commercial contracts. It is used as an alternative to litigation and is controlled primarily by the terms previously agreed upon by the contracting parties, rather than by national legislation or procedural rules. Section 2F of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996 defines international commercial arbitration as an arbitration relating to disputes arising out of legal relationships, whether contractual or not, considered as commercial under the law in force in India, and where at least one of the parties is an individual who is a national of or habitually resident in any country other than India. What is the meaning of unilateral intervention? Unilateral intervention is one-sided involvement to settle the disputes between the parties. In a dispute, if one of the parties is dominant and the other party is in a dependent position, the dominating party dictates the terms of settlement and makes the dependent party to accept it. This is called unilateral intervention. Next question. What is bilateral intervention? Okay. Bilateral intervention is two-sided involvement to settle the disputes between the parties. Parties in this type of intervention are equal in position and strength. Both parties settle their disputes by mutual understanding. Then what is meant by triadic or third party intervention? Triadic or third party intervention is third party involvement to settle the disputes between the parties. Third party acts as a consultant to resolve the disputes effectively. Explain characteristics of negotiation. Okay. Negotiation, it involves the cooperation between the parties. It resolves the disputes without the intervention of a third party. It adopts interactive process and integrative approach. It facilitates the parties to control the procedure and outcome. It provides cheaper and peaceful settlement. It brings the cooperation and adjustment between the parties. It settles the dispute on mutually agreed terms. Negotiation is voluntary and non-binding process. It provides direct interaction with the disputing parties. Say about arbitration procedure. Okay, first step, case is filed, then arbitrator selection process, third, preliminary hearing and scheduling order, 4, discovery process, 5, hearing or mediation, 6th step, arbitration hearing, 7th, post arbitration briefs, and the final step is final arbitration award. Appointment of conciliator under section 64 of Arbitration Conciliation Act. Section 64 of Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996 provides that the conciliator is appointed, one, if there is one conciliator in a conciliation proceedings, there should be an agreement on his name. If there are two conciliators, each party should appoint one conciliator each. If there are three conciliators in a conciliation proceeding, each party should appoint one conciliator each, and the third conciliator will be an agreed person who will act as a presiding conciliator. Section 48 of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996 provides that enforcement of a foreign award may be refused at the request of the party against whom it is invoked, only if that party refuses to the court to prove that conditions for enforcement of foreign awards. Section 48 of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996 provides that enforcement of a foreign award may be refused at the request of the party against whom it is invoked, only if that party furnishes to the court proof that it furnishes the proof that 1. Incapacity of the parties to the agreement, 2. Inability of agreement under the law, lack of proper notice of the appointment of arbitrator, lack of proper notice of arbitral proceedings, otherwise unable to present his case, award being the scope of the submission to arbitration, defective composition of arbitral authority or procedure, award has not yet become binding on the parties, award has been set aside or suspended by the competent authority. Enforcement of arbitral award may also be refused in cases like 1. It is not capable of settlement by arbitration under the Indian law. 2. The enforcement would be contrary to public policy. Award is in conflict with the public policy of India. Award was induced or affected by fraud or corruption. New York Convention Award. Answer. Chapter 1 deals with New York Convention Awards. Section 44 to 52 of Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996 contains provisions relating to foreign awards passed under the New York Convention. According to this, a party holding foreign award can apply for enforcement of it. Courts may have to decide about the enforceability of the award. Court decides to take effective steps for execution. No need to take two separate proceedings in multiplicity of litigations. Final arbitral award is to be enforced as if it were a decree of the court, according to New York Convention. Next, what is Geneva Convention? Chapter 2 of Part 2 deals with Geneva Convention Awards. Section 53 to 60 of Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996 contains provisions relating to foreign awards passed under the Geneva Convention. According to Geneva Convention, foreign awards which would be enforceable shall be treated as binding. No enforcement of award when it is void in law. No second appeal shall lie from an order passed in appeal. It shall affect or take away any right to appeal to the Supreme Court. What is Section 89? Section 89 of CPC permits the settlement of the disputes outside the court. Court shall formulate the terms of settlement and gives them to parties. Section 89 2B provides that the court shall refer the same to the Lok Adalat. Provisions of the Legal Service Authority Act 1987 shall apply. Court shall effect a compromise between the parties. Court shall follow such procedure as may be prescribed. What is Order 10 Rule 1A? Answer. It is direction of the court to opt for ADR. Order 10 Rule 1A of the CPC provides that after recording the admissions and denials, the court shall direct the parties to the suit to opt either mode of the settlement outside the court. On the option of the parties, the court shall fix the date of appearance before such forum or authority as may be opted by the parties. What is Order 10 Rule 1B? Okay, Order 10 Rule 1B. Appearance before the conciliatory forum or authority. Order 10 Rule 1B of the CPC provides that where a suit is referred under Rule 1A, the parties shall appear before such forum or authority for conciliation of the suit. Order 10 Rule 1B case Rajasthan State Road Transport Company versus Nandalal Saraswat. What are the main functions of family court? Family courts are designed to deal with disputes arising in family matters such as divorce or child custody. One of the main goals of family court is to settle legal problems that can occur in families. Each state varies in how the family court operates. Therefore, it is best to look up your local family court in the area to learn more about how it functions. The claims that are processed in family court, most family courts will handle these type of claims like marriage and civil union cases, divorce cases, child custody, child support, spousal support or alimony cases, adoption, name change, etc. Lokpal. Lokpal means caretaker of people. It is an anti-corruption authority who represents the public interest. Lokpal is a form of ADR. It acts as a watchdog against corruption. Ombudsman in India is called Lokpal. Lokpal is an officer of the parliament. He is an ombudsman for the affairs of the centre. The main objective of the institution of Lokpal is to safeguard the citizens against misuse of powers of administration. Lokpal Bill in Rajya Sabha was passed on 17th December 2013. Lokpal Bill was passed in Lok Sabha in 18th December 2013. Lokpal Bill passed and became the Lokpal and Lokayukta Act 2013. Thus, Lokpal has the power of a civil court under CPC 1908. What is Lokayukta? Lokayukta means appointed by the people. Ombudsman in the states is called Lokayukta. Lokayukta is an officer of the state. He is an ombudsman for the affairs of the state. The main objective of the institution of Lokayukta is to safeguard the citizens against misuse of the powers of administration. Lokayukta investigates into the grievances, allegations against public servants. Lokayukta checks the corruption, negligence, inefficiency, delay, bias. It investigates into grievances. Then, first Lokayukta was established in Orissa in 1970. Lokayukta consists of one chairman and two members. Lokayukta works under the administrative control of Lokpal. Upalokayukta works under the administrative control of Lokayukta. Lokayukta checks ministers, public servants and officers in the state. Lokpal and Lokayukta Act is an anti-corruption body of the Parliament. Lokpal and Lokayukta Act 2013. According to this act, every state has to set up Lokayukta within 365 days. The states have the authority to decide the nature and scope of the Lokayukta Act. Aim and functions of the Lokpal and Lokayukta Act is, it is an anti-corruption legislation that includes the scope of all public servants, including cabinet ministers, chief minister, MPs and employees of central government organizations. The Lokpal Act also gives its approval to investigate, to probe the wrongdoings of the Prime Minister. Fastening the investigation of the public officials indulged in corruption and prosecution is the main purpose of the Act, except matters specifying to foreign affairs, atomic energy, security, etc. What are different kinds of tribunals? Tribunal means a seat of a judge in a court. Tribunals perform quasi-judicial function. Decision of a tribunal is final and binding on the parties. A tribunal is independent from administrative interference. Tribunals does the same functions as the court of law. There are many types of tribunals like Central Administrative Tribunal CAT, MACT, Motor Accident Claims Tribunal, NIT, National Industrial Tribunal, ITAT, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, Consumer Disputes and ADR. Article 323 authorizes Parliament to establish administrative tribunals. CAT is empowered to prescribe its own rules of practice. CAT adjudicate disputes, service of persons in public services alone. Motor Accident Claims Tribunal are created under the MV Act 1988. It provides speedy remedy to victims of accident by motor vehicles. It deals with the claims relating to accidents involving the death. It deals with claims of accidents involving bodily injury or no time limit for filing motor vehicle accident claims. Industrial Disputes Act 1947 created National Industrial Tribunal. They provide speedy remedy to the disputes. No proceeding in the National Industrial Tribunal shall lapse merely by reason of death of the parties. Every tribunal here shall have same powers as vested in the civil code. Next, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. The Income Tax Act 1961 governs income tax in India. The Act lays down the provisions relating to taxation. Section 252(1) of IT Act empowers to constitute an appellate tribunal. Income Tax Appellate Tribunal is the second appellate tribunal. It is the final fact-finding authority in the entire proceedings. Appeal shall be filed before ITAT within 60 days.